Everybody, this is Holden Smith from Holden's Airshow Media. I'm standing here with Captain Andrew Olson, call sign Dojo, from the 56th Fighter Wing at Luke Air Force Base in Glendale, Arizona. He's the demo team pilot and commander of the F-35A Demonstration Team for the United States Air Force. Dojo, welcome to Jacksonville. Pleasure to have you here.
Thanks for having us.
So, just to kind of get started, you guys have had a remarkable year doing the full public demonstration of the F-35 demo. You guys got this show, and you have Nellis Air Force Base in a couple of weeks. What is going to be like the drive, the main focus that you guys are going to have for that motivation for the last two shows of the season?
Well, we still got a job to do. You know, we got to take this team out on the road, showcase the amazing airplane that is the F-35, and represent, you know, the broader United States Air Force and all the pride and professionalism and precision of every Air Force airman out there. So we got a job to do, and we're going to represent all of them to the best of our ability and just absolutely rage over Jack's Beach this weekend, show people what the F-35 can do.
Fantastic. So you guys started in Melbourne in late March, and you guys are back here on the East Coast, just about 2.5 hours away from you guys started. It's kind of like you guys came full circle, right?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Fantastic. So flying the F-35 this season, you guys got to do so many things. You guys have had so many highlights. What would you say has been one of the highlights for this season? I mean,
it's tough to sum them all up. I think we've had so many good shows. We've had so many amazing opportunities. Flying over downtown San Francisco was one of the most beautiful show sites I've ever seen. I think flying into Oshkosh with Raptor and A-10 demo, as well as my wingman, and then 3 Mustangs into a legendary air show like Oshkosh. Getting to fly in Cleveland, kind of the original Reno air races, if you will, before it went to Reno. I mean, the list goes on and on. So it's honestly impossible to sum them all up, and each one had special elements. So it's been an incredible year.
Awesome. So, you know, I've always kind of thought about one of the things. You got the Blue Angels, you have the Thunderbirds, you got so many demonstration teams in the United States. This year, you guys got the chance to go out to Huntington Beach, California. Yeah. You got to be a part of a show with the Red Arrows. What was that like?
Yeah, that was incredible. And being on the road with them for, I think, 4 shows this season during this summer. It's a summer none of us will ever forget, but having the Reds there, getting to know those guys, they're a great group of guys, and getting to travel with them, especially on their West Coast swing, was just an absolute privilege. And as you mentioned, yeah, that Huntington Beach show with 3 jet teams and 3 demo teams, I mean, it's just an unprecedented show to be at. So yeah,
absolutely. So let's talk about the jet for just a second.
Sure, yeah.
Flying the F-35, you've been with it for probably about a couple of years now, and flying as an evaluator and also as a demonstration pilot. Yeah. You guys brought on the full public demonstration. What would you say is your favorite demo or favorite maneuver during the demonstration?
Yeah, so flying this jet for about 3.5 years now. I flew F-15s before that. My favorite demo maneuver is what's called the dedication pass. It's actually pretty simple, or so it looks from the ground. But that's where you go from one side of the show box to the other, and you're fully banked up at about 90 degrees angle, banked to the crowd, pulling 7.5 to 9 Gs the whole time, doing 94% of the speed of sound, so about 720 miles an hour, and you're at 300 feet, just absolutely raging over the show. And it's we dedicate that pass to veterans, wounded warriors, and attendants, or anyone special that we want to dedicate that pass to in that particular day. But that one's definitely full-on Rage Fest.
What would you say is a little bit more difficult? Because you guys have had your share of beach shows, and you got your share of doing shows over land. What would you say is the hardest, flying over water or flying over an airport?
Definitely a beach show makes it more difficult. When you're over an Air Force base, you have nice long runways to line up everything on. Over the water, it's a little bit more nebulous. There's buoys that are usually out there, but sometimes the buoys are small. They drift with the currents, so sometimes you can get a wavy crowd line out there. Gotcha. You get kind of some illusions off the water sometimes, and then just also the weather is very unpredictable from minute to minute, hour to hour. Cloud cover, winds, everything's usually changing at the beach shows, so more difficult.
Okay, so like I said, you've done so many shows this season, and you're going to be finishing up the last 2 here at Jack's Beach, and you're going to be going to Nellis in a couple of weeks to finish up with the Thunderbirds. What would you say is probably the best thing you can take away from every single show, week in and week out?
It's definitely the people that we meet. I mean, they inspire me, you know. I mean, just last weekend, we were at a middle school where we met, I don't know, about 150 kids that stayed. They had early release, so like they had a half day, and they stayed until 2 o'clock just to meet us and talk to us. And the inspiration, I think, is reciprocal, and that's my favorite part about this job is we hope to inspire people out there with our performance and represent the United States Air Force, but they, in return, give us inspiration right back because of their energy, their enthusiasm, and their interest in the subject. And then, you know, believing in them and what they're going to do as the next generation. So my favorite part and the thing I'll miss is just meeting the people on the road and inspiring them, and then having them inspire me back.
I gotcha. Well, Dojo is going to be performing the F-35 demonstration over at Jacksonville Beach as a part of a Jacksonville Sea and Sky Spectacular Air Show this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. So be sure to come on out and see Dojo and the team. Dojo, thank you for taking a second and talking with me. I really appreciate you, and we thank you for your service.
Thanks.
So I'm standing here with Master Sergeant Robert Garner. He is the team superintendent of the F-35 demo team. Thank you for taking a chance to talk with us for a moment. So we talked with Dojo and had a couple minutes to talk with him about the remarkable season you guys had, and we kind of wanted to get a little bit of opinions. You know, we had some questions where we talked about the highlights of the season. What would you say would be the highlight for the F-35 demo team this season?
I mean, it's really tough to kind of pick out one moment that really stood out for me, because it's just a lot for me is in getting with the crowds and seeing their reaction to how we fly the airplane. For instance, kicking off our show in Melbourne this year was amazing, because nobody had ever seen the demo up to that point. So to kind of get out there and be able to showcase it a little bit, get a show in, and then as we follow up the season and kind of showcase this aircraft and what its capabilities are, it's been an amazing experience.
So we also talked about the flight demonstration with Dojo a little bit, but let's talk a little bit about the jet. You guys go in, week out, almost every single weekend of this year. Although between this show and the last one that you guys are going to have at Nellis, you guys got a couple of weeks to kind of R&R, kind of get a chance to tighten up the demonstration before the last show of the season. How much time does it take to prep the jet for a demonstration?
So this jet is very maintenance friendly. I mean, it does, everything is very easy to work on. Everything is accessible, and all we really have to do is do pre-flight inspections, make sure there's the proper amount of gas on it, check everything is safe and ready to go each demonstration. This jet has not failed us or let us down this season at all. It's been amazing as far as the guys we have as well. That's the great thing about being on a demo team. All these guys are handpicked. You know, we got to go and find the very best maintainers and the best mechanics that the Air Force has to offer and put them on this team, and they've done a fantastic job of making sure this jet is ready to fly every day.
Sure. So you guys have, again, one of the other things that I talked about with Dojo, you guys have participated in shows with the Blue Angels, you participated with the Thunderbirds. One of the big things you got to do this year is get to participate with the Royal Air Force Red Arrows this year. What was the experience like being an experience with a demonstration team from overseas?
Absolutely fantastic. I mean, some of those guys are just amazing. Just watching their demonstration, I've never seen it before. I kind of got a glimpse of it last year when we were down in Riyadh, but being here this year and actually just sitting and watching those guys fly, and it's a beautiful aircraft and beautiful demonstration that they perform. And then the guys are just amazing to work with. All of them are, really down to earth, really guys that you can get along with and talk to, and just, kind of swap stories about, what it's been like for them and what it's like for us. And you can find those places where we relate well to one another. So really enjoyed being on the road with them.
Fantastic. And you guys have had how many show sites, like 25, maybe 20 show sites this year?
This year, including some of the flyovers we've done. For instance, we did the D-Day flyover over at Langley. I think we're sitting about 19 to 20 shows this year is what we're in and doing. So it's been a very busy season, especially this October. We have there's a show every weekend this month. Yeah. But the jet has really held up well, and these guys are running in stride, so it's great.
Fantastic. Well, we appreciate you taking the time to come over and talk with us for just a couple of minutes. We appreciate everything that you do, Master Sergeant. We'll let you get back to work, all right?
I appreciate that. It's been a fantastic experience.
All right, thank you. We'll see you guys in the next video.